Baba Vanga's terrifying 2025 predictions are happening now. What you need to know. Unusual earthquakes, rising global tension, and scientific leaps that feel almost supernatural. These aren't scenes from a science fiction movie. They are the eerie echoes of Baba Vanga's most chilling predictions. A name that sparks both curiosity and fear, Baba Vanga is once again in the spotlight as the world watches 2025 unfold. Her prophecies for this year have left many stunned, with people beginning to ask, are we actually living through the moments she foresaw? Could the chaos and breakthroughs happening around us be part of a future she already witnessed decades ago? Stay with us here on The Journey of Wisdom as we explore the mystifying world of Baba Vanga, uncover her most alarming 2025 predictions, and reflect on how they could transform the world in ways we never imagined. To understand why Baba Vanga's name still stirs both awe and unease today, we must begin by looking at the extraordinary path that shaped her life. Born as Vangelia Pandeva Gushterova in a humble village in Bulgaria, her early years were marked not by fame, but by suffering and spiritual mystery. At the age of 12, she was caught in a violent storm that blinded her. A tragic moment that she later described not as an ending, but a transformation. She believed that through this physical loss, her so-called third eye was opened, allowing her to see beyond the material world into visions of the future. Over the next 50 years, Baba Vanga became known across Eastern Europe and beyond, offering not only personal insights to the people who came to visit her, but also predicting major global events that seemed impossible for a rural blind woman to foresee. It is this contrast between her simple beginnings and the magnitude of her predictions that has earned her the title the Nostradamus of the Balkans. Her predictions are a subject of fascination and debate. Some estimate that nearly 85% of her visions have come true, including deeply unsettling events like the September 11th attacks, the catastrophic tsunami that struck Asia in the year 2004, and the rise of global terrorism through groups such as the Islamic State of Iraq. She even foresaw the exact year of her own death in the year 1996 at the age of 84. Such accuracy has left both believers and skeptics asking the same question: how could she have known? As we stand in the early days of the year 2025, with uncertainty rippling through our world, from environmental disasters to geopolitical instability, more and more people are turning back to her words, searching for signs and warnings that might help make sense of the chaos. In Buddhism, there is a saying, "What we think, we become. What we feel, we attract. What we imagine, we create." This idea resonates with Baba Vanga's worldview, one where the unseen holds immense power and the energy of fear, hope, and belief can shape the very fabric of reality. As men living in an age of overwhelming information and daily stress, it is natural to look for answers that reach beyond the surface. Baba Vanga's prophecies remind us that even in our modern world of technology and reason, there are mysteries we cannot yet explain. Her most talked about predictions for the year 2025 involve global shifts, climate events, technological risks, and social unrest that many feel are already beginning to unfold. Whether we choose to take her visions literally or symbolically, they offer an important reflection. Are we truly prepared for the consequences of our actions as a society? Are we living with mindfulness, or are we rushing forward, blind to what lies ahead? As the Buddha once said, there is no fire like passion, no shark like hatred, no snare like folly, no torrent like craving. If we let our fear of the future rule us, we risk missing the lessons that these warnings are meant to teach. The path forward is not about panic, but about awareness. Whether or not every prophecy comes true, they invite us to be more conscious of the world we are shaping for ourselves and for future generations. In this moment more than ever, it is vital to balance curiosity with wisdom. Listening to Baba Vanga's predictions should not drive us into fear, but awaken our sense of responsibility. Instead of waiting for doom to unfold, let her visions serve as a call to action, an invitation to live with greater compassion, presence, and clarity. 1. The devastating earthquake, a geographical shift. Baba Vanga, the blind mystic from Bulgaria, whose predictions have stirred global curiosity, once made a bold and terrifying claim about the year 2025. She foresaw a devastating earthquake striking the United States, so powerful that it would shift the path of the great Mississippi River itself. It sounds like a scene from a disaster film, doesn't it? Cities leveled, lives shattered, an entire nation grappling with a crisis so immense it would test the limits of both infrastructure and compassion. But before you brush this off as just another dramatic prophecy, let's take a closer look. Seismologists have long warned of the danger posed by the New Madrid seismic zone, a fault line running through states like Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. This zone was responsible for some of the most powerful quakes in American history back in the early 19th century. Though those quakes happened over 200 years ago, tremors still shake the region quietly, and scientists agree another major quake isn't a question of if, but when. And then, out of nowhere, in April of 2024, a 4.7 magnitude quake rattled parts of New York City, a place not known for seismic activity. It was a stark reminder that the earth moves in silence before it roars. So when Baba Vanga speaks of a quake that changes the very geography of a nation, perhaps she's not so far off base. What if she's right? Are we prepared, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually? 2. The tsunami that could rival history's worst. Baba Vanga's second major prediction for the year 2025, a prophecy that speaks of a tsunami so powerful it could rival or even surpass the devastation of the Indian Ocean disaster in 2004. That event took more than 230,000 lives across 14 countries, leaving families broken, cities erased, and entire communities struggling to recover for years. Now, Baba Vanga, the blind mystic whose predictions have eerily aligned with past global events, warns of a wave that could be even more destructive, striking the Asian continent once again. And as unsettling as it sounds, we have to ask ourselves, is this just a myth to scare us, or a mirror reflecting truths we don't want to face? Scientists today continuously monitor the Pacific Ring of Fire, a volatile region where tectonic plates grind and shift beneath the sea. Many experts have openly expressed concerns that this region is due for a major seismic event, and the ocean floor, though silent and hidden, is never still. Some geologists believe that subtle movements in the seabed, shifts that often go underreported or unnoticed, might be signs that pressure is building. And here's where Baba Vanga's vision starts to feel uncomfortably relevant. When I reflect on this prediction, I don't just hear fear. I hear a question being asked of all of us. Have we truly learned from the tragedies of the past? Are coastal nations more prepared now, than they were 2 decades ago? Emergency sirens, evacuation drills, stronger building codes, all these systems are in place, but will they be enough? And more importantly, are we prepared emotionally, spiritually, and as a global community to respond to such a catastrophe with unity and compassion? And perhaps this is where the deeper meaning of Baba Vanga's prediction lies, not just in the possibility of a natural disaster, but in the wake-up call it sends to our hearts. Too often, we go about our lives numb to the suffering of others, believing tragedy is always somewhere else. But pain and loss, like water, know no borders. 3. Breakthroughs in medicine, hope amid chaos. A prophecy that speaks of groundbreaking breakthroughs in medicine, especially in the battle against Alzheimer's disease and cancer, 2 of the most devastating illnesses affecting millions of families around the globe. While many of her visions seem to focus on global turmoil or natural catastrophes, this particular glimpse into the future offers something different, a sense of healing in the midst of chaos. And when we consider the direction modern science is taking, it's not far-fetched. Recently, Russian researchers have been working on new cancer vaccines, exploring ways to train the immune system to recognize and destroy cancer cells. Meanwhile, scientists in the United Kingdom are developing DNA-based treatments that target lung cancer at the genetic level, with the potential to stop the disease before it takes hold. These are not science fiction. They are real, tangible advancements happening in labs today, signaling a medical revolution on the horizon. In a world so focused on problems, we often forget to recognize progress. It's easy to drown in the headlines of conflict and crisis, but right beneath the surface, there are quiet warriors, doctors, scientists, and researchers, fighting not for profit or politics, but for life itself. Their work reminds us of a powerful Buddhist teaching. Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. In this context, Baba Vanga's medical prediction isn't just about scientific victory. It's a reminder of what truly matters. For men in their 30s, 40s, 50s and beyond, many of whom carry the weight of responsibility for their families and communities, this vision offers a reflection. Are we doing enough to care for our health, both physically and mentally? And are we paying attention to the advances that could change the lives of those we love? Baba Vanga's message seems to be urging us not only to prepare for the storms, but also to open our hearts to the breakthroughs. As the Dalai Lama once said, our prime purpose in this life is to help others, and if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. What if this scientific awakening is our chance to help others, our elders, our children, even ourselves, by supporting research, spreading awareness, and nurturing healthier habits in our daily lives? Let us not miss this chance to appreciate the progress being made, the lives that may be saved, and the possibility that 2025 could bring not just trials, but triumphs. In the face of so much uncertainty, perhaps this is the silver lining. A reminder that healing is always possible, even when the world feels broken. If you made it this far, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Just drop a quick response. There's still hope. That's it, a simple reminder that even in the chaos, breakthroughs are happening. 4. Political turmoil, a leader's downfall. She foresaw the assassination of Russian President Vladimir Putin by someone from within his own country, a scenario that, if it were to happen, could shake the entire world. Think about it. With the current war in Ukraine already pushing global diplomacy to the edge, such an event could trigger massive ripple effects, not only in Eastern Europe, but across international economies, military alliances, and humanitarian efforts. A sudden shift in leadership in a country as powerful as Russia wouldn't just be a local crisis, it could unsettle everything from energy supplies to global markets to regional peace efforts. Alongside this, she also predicted an increase in terrorist activity in Europe, a stark reminder of the threats that continue to challenge peace and safety, even in places we assume to be secure. The balance that holds our world together, between nations, between ideologies, and between communities, is far more delicate than we often admit. It's easy to hear such forecasts and feel helpless. But remember, the world isn't only shaped by presidents or prime ministers, it's shaped by all of us, in our daily choices, conversations, and values. The lesson here isn't just about predicting a leader's fall, it's about understanding the consequences of division and the need for unity and mindfulness more than ever. The message Baba Vanga leaves us with is not to panic about the future, but to become wiser in the present. Because when we face uncertainty with compassion and clarity, we do more than survive. We lead ourselves and others toward peace. 5. A looming economic crisis. Baba Vanga's fifth prediction for the year 2025 speaks of a looming global economic crisis, a collapse triggered by growing national debts, rising inflation, and increasing geopolitical tension. Now, before dismissing this as just another doomsday claim, let's take a closer look at what's already happening around us. Economists around the world are sounding the alarm about rising costs of living, persistent inflation, and unstable financial markets. Many governments, including the United Kingdom, are already feeling the weight of economic pressure, especially after slipping into recession in late 2023. These aren't just numbers in the news. There are realities we face when we fill up our gas tanks, buy groceries, or try to save a little for our children's future. You've probably already felt the impact. Maybe it's higher interest rates, maybe your income hasn't stretched as far as it used to, or maybe you're worried about how secure your job or business really is. Baba Vanga's words seem less like far-fetched prophecy and more like a mirror reflecting what many of us already fear in our day-to-day lives. And it makes you wonder, are these economic tremors signs of something bigger coming our way? Or are they warnings urging us to pause, reflect, and make wiser choices now before it's too late? There's an old Buddhist teaching that says, "The wise man saves in times of plenty for the times of need." This isn't just about hoarding wealth. It's about living mindfully, managing resources with awareness, and not waiting until we're in crisis to make changes. Let me ask you this. How prepared do you feel for financial instability? Do you know where your money goes each month? Are your investments grounded in long-term thinking or short-term gain? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're necessary. Because if we don't ask them now, we may be forced to face them later when we have fewer options. What stands out to me most in Baba Vanga's prediction isn't just the potential collapse. It's the reminder that economies are not just systems run by experts in high towers. They're built on our everyday decisions, our values, and our ability to stay grounded when the world feels unstable. We've seen it before, how economic uncertainty can lead to panic, division, and suffering, especially for those already struggling. But we've also seen resilience, communities coming together, and people making small but powerful changes that help them weather the storm. Maybe it's learning a new skill, starting a small savings plan, being more mindful of spending, or even just having honest conversations with your family about priorities. As the Buddha said, to live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance. This quote reminds us that true wealth isn't just about money. It's about living with awareness, generosity, and purpose. Baba Vanga's prediction, whether fully accurate or not, is not a message of fear. It's a wake-up call to be more intentional with how we live, how we earn, and how we care for one another when times get tough. Because in the end, it's not just about surviving an economic crisis. It's about coming through it with our dignity, our values, and our sense of humanity intact. 6. The Arrival of Extraterrestrials. According to Baba Vanga, the blind mystic whose predictions have captivated the curiosity of millions, the year 2025 could be marked by something unlike anything humanity has faced, an encounter with beings from beyond our planet. In her vision, these extraterrestrial visitors may reach out to world leaders, offering advanced technologies that could either uplift human civilization or bring about profound danger. This prophecy, once dismissed as fantasy, is becoming harder to ignore as governments declassify files on unidentified aerial phenomena and respected scientists openly entertain the possibility of intelligent life in the universe. The question isn't just if aliens exist, but how we would respond if they chose to reveal themselves. Would we react with fear and hostility, or curiosity and cooperation? Could this contact push us into a new era of progress, or awaken our deepest fears and divisions? The ancient Buddhist teacher Dogen once said, "Do not follow the ideas of others, but learn to listen to the voice within yourself." If we truly encountered something greater than us, would we be ready, spiritually, emotionally, and morally, to face it with wisdom rather than panic? And just when you think Baba Vanga's predictions have reached their peak, her visions extend far into the future. She claimed that by the year 2043, Europe would fall under Islamic leadership, a prediction that, whether metaphorical or literal, invites us to reflect on the cultural and spiritual shifts happening across the world. Even further ahead, she foresaw that by the year 3344, humanity might unlock the ability to travel through time. And in the most distant of her visions, she spoke of the end of the world arriving in the year 5079. Are these forecasts merely wild projections, or do they reflect humanity's timeless longing to understand what lies ahead? We've always been fascinated by what we cannot see or prove, and Baba Vanga's words remind us that mystery has a role in keeping us humble. After all, in the words of the Buddha, the trouble is, you think you have time. Whether or not these events unfold as predicted, the real message may be that we should live with greater awareness of how fleeting and precious our time really is. This brings us to a spiritual layer that transcends prophecy, one that many believers recognize in the Christian teachings on the end times. The idea that no one knows the exact moment of Christ's return is a humbling reminder that some truths remain hidden by design. Baba Vanga's predictions and biblical eschatology both seem to point us toward the same lesson. Stay vigilant, stay prepared, not out of fear, but out of reverence for the unknown. The distinction between the rapture and the second coming is not just theological, it's deeply emotional. The rapture speaks to the hope of being gathered, of being saved, while the second coming speaks to the fulfillment of divine justice and the ultimate renewal of all things. Whether you believe these events will unfold literally or symbolically, the invitation remains the same: to reflect, to wake up, to live with purpose. As it's written in the book of Revelation, in chapter 19, verses 11 through 16, Christ returns not as a gentle teacher, but as a righteous judge, triumphing over darkness, fulfilling promises, and restoring peace. Are we meant to feel fear, or are we being called to evolve? I believe the deeper meaning behind these prophecies is a call to align ourselves with truth, integrity, and love. To use the unknown not as a reason to worry, but as a reminder to be more awake in the present. Baba Vanga's visions might or might not unfold as described, but they leave us with a powerful question. Are you living today in a way that prepares you for the future? Not just the one that science builds, but the one that spirit demands. Because whether it's a visitor from the stars or a savior from heaven, the heart of the message is the same. The time to live with clarity, compassion, and courage is now. And as we wrap up this journey into Baba Vanga's mysterious and often chilling predictions, let's remember, no one truly knows what the future holds. While her visions may stir curiosity or concern, our greatest strength lies in staying grounded in faith, wisdom, and compassion. The future isn't set in stone, and every choice we make today helps shape the world we'll wake up to tomorrow. If this video sparked something in you or made you think a little deeper, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Journey of Wisdom. And be sure to turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos as we continue exploring the unseen threads of prophecy, philosophy, and spiritual insight. Thanks for walking this path with us, and until next time, stay mindful, stay grounded, and stay curious.